Hello all. In this session, we'll discuss about exception handling. What is exception? It is an event that interrupts the normal flow of the program. For example, if you try to divide some number by 0 or opening a file that does not exist, will raise exception. Basic exception handling syntax. In Python, exceptions are handled using try, except, else, and finally blocks. In try block, suppose the code instruction is like this: x equal to 1 by 0. In numerator 1, denominator 0. This particular operation, we can say it is undefined. It's not defined. It gives 0 division error. Anything divided by 0 will give 0 division error. So in print statement, we can print the error. The try block. Here if you see, this result equal to 10 by 2. In this particular case, this particular operation gives the value equal to 5. So if no exception occurs, the code runs normally. We can print the result. If you see the except block catches the exception. You can specify the type of exception you want to catch. If the exception type matches, the code inside the except block is executed. If you see this example, in try block, result 10 by 0 like previous, except 0 division error, print. What we'll get here, 0 division error, can't divide by 0. You can also capture the exception object to get more information like below. This is the code instruction. 0 division error as E, print the error. How to catch multiple exceptions? You can handle multiple exceptions by specifying them in a multiple except blocks. For example, in try block, value equal to int of input enter a number. You are taking the number here, that is a integer number. Result equal to 10 by value. If you see this code instruction, 10 by whatever the value you enter here, that value, okay, except 0 division error. Print division by 0 is not allowed. Suppose if you pass the value, input value as a 0, it gives 0 division error. If you give other than 0, that is a positive number, that division can take place here. Okay, we'll see this particular code. In try block, these are the instruction. In except block, we have mentioned 0 division error. If denominator is 0, it will print division by 0 is not allowed. Except one more different error related. If suppose if you enter other than integer, it will say this is not a valid number. We'll run this program and we'll see. File save, file run. First we will give enter a number equal to 2. What happens here? Result equal to 10 by the value equal to 2 here. Okay, that is an integer number. Result 10 by 2, that is equal to 5. Okay, here it is successful. See, no error because we have given valid input. Now we will test for 0. Run again. Enter a number 0. What it has to print? It has to print division by 0 is not allowed. Okay, we'll see. Division by 0 is not allowed. It's correct. One more scenario in this. We'll try to give other than integer. Run. Enter a number A. Purposefully we'll enter A. Okay. What it should say? It should say that's not a valid number. See, that's not a valid number. Multiple exceptions we can pass like this. If you see the else block runs if no exception occurs in the try block. This you need to remember. It is useful for code that should only run if everything goes well. This is the example. We'll run this also. In try block, you have number equal to, we are taking one integer number as a input, except value error. Other than integer, if you pass, it will say invalid input. If you pass an integer, then else block will run, because when you pass integer number, there is no exception in try back block. That's why in the print statement present in the else block will be printed. What it will print? You entered whatever the number you entered, that will be printed. We'll run this code. First we'll enter a number 20. What it should say? You entered 20. It should print like that. This is the result. One more scenario will test. Other than integer, we'll give some other character. Invalid input. And if you, what is the finally block? The finally block runs no matter what, whether an exception occurs or not. It is useful for cleaning up resources like closing files or releasing network connection. This is the code snippet. In try block, we have instruction file equal to open file2.txt in read mode. It is related to file opening in read mode. If file is present, there will be no exception. If file is not there, it will raise an exception. What is the exception? File not found error. Print file not found. This finally block, irrespective of try except code instruction, whatever the statements present in the finally block will be printed like file closed. Okay. Now, if you observe here, file2.txt in our Python directory, file2.txt is available. So there will be no exception in try block. Okay. Then it goes to finally because it will not go to except block because in try block the code instruction doesn't have any exception. Okay. Then the print statement present in the finally block will be printed like file closed. We'll run this program. This file closed. You can also raise exceptions. You can raise exceptions explicitly using the raise keyword. This is useful when you want to generate an exception under certain conditions. You need to mention the code instruction like this. This is a function divide a comma b. If b equal to 0, that means this is a denominator. If b double equal to 0, then raise value error cannot divide by 0 because anything divided by 0 it will result this. If it is a valid number other than 0, whatever the outcome comes here, it returns. Okay. Here result divide, we are passing two parameter 10 comma 0, denominator 0. So it raises the exception. We'll run this code. Cannot divide by 0 because we are passing the denominator as 0. Logging exceptions. It is important to log exceptions, especially in production code, so you can diagnose problems later. This is the code snippet. Import logging, logging.basic config, level equal to logging.error. In try block x equal to 10 by 0, except 0 division error as e, logging.error, error occurred. So this is the example for logging exception. We'll run this code and we'll see. Save. Here in try block we have instruction x equal to 10 by 0, denominator 0, that's why we get 0 division error. So this is related to logging exception. We'll get notification in our project folders. So we'll run and see how it is. File save, run. Yeah, error root error occurred, division by 0. This is the result. But you can see here exception handling, whatever the file name, if you see the timestamp today date and time is 16:09. Here if you observe, open and see here, like this will get notification. This will be useful to check the logs. Conclusion: exception handling is a crucial part of writing robust Python programs. By using try, except, else and finally blocks, you can anticipate errors and handle them gracefully, keeping your program from crashing unexpectedly. And that's all for this video.